In this lesson, we will explore Docker security, focusing on the risks of running containers as the root user. You will learn why this practice is dangerous and how to avoid common pitfalls to protect your host system and containers. When you run a Docker container as root, it has elevated privileges inside the container. This means the processes inside can perform actions as the root user, which can be risky if an attacker exploits vulnerabilities within the container environment. For example, if a container running as root is compromised, an attacker might escalate privileges and access the host system. This could lead to unauthorized data access or control over other services running on the host machine. The primary concern is privilege escalation. Even though containers isolate processes, running as root can allow an attacker to break out of this isolation by exploiting kernel vulnerabilities or misconfigurations, posing severe security threats. To reduce risks, use the Docker user option to run containers as a non-root user. This lowers the container's privileges and limits potential damage if the container is compromised. Another safety measure is to configure the Dockerfile to specify a non-root user with the user directive. This ensures containers run with limited permissions consistently, enhancing your application's security posture. In your Dockerfile, add a non-root user and run the container using that user. This helps prevent accidental root access inside the container. While non-root users improve security, certain applications might require elevated privileges. In these cases, carefully evaluate the security trade-offs and apply additional controls like namespaces and capabilities to restrict access. You can drop unnecessary Linux capabilities to limit container permissions even when running as root, reducing the attack surface. It's essential to regularly audit your Docker containers and images for potential vulnerabilities and misconfigurations. Tools like Docker Bench for security can help identify risky practices such as running containers as root. Running Docker Bench for security scans your Docker host and containers to detect security issues and suggests improvements. In summary, avoid running Docker containers as root when possible. Use non-root users, restrict capabilities, and audit security regularly to protect your systems and reduce risks associated with Docker container privilege escalations.